This Health Ranger Report Pandemic Podcast is brought to you by NaturalNews.com for uncensored reporting and HealthRangerStore.com for lab-tested preparedness supplies such as storable food, full-face medical masks, biostructured silver first aid gel, and iodine, only while supplies last. Countdown to the coronavirus day of reckoning. Mike Adams here. February 17th is the day of this recording. This is for pandemic.news, which is the new hub that we will shortly be populating with all the downloadable audio files of all the podcasts. So you can basically just download MP3s, slap them on your iPhone, whatever you're listening with, and you can listen to them at your leisure. Any of these podcasts about the coronavirus that are where I don't mention the date, they are before February 17th, because I'm mentioning the date starting today, February 17th. And again, the website is pandemic.news. Pandemic.news, just like it sounds. So you go in your browser and you type in pandemic.news. And it's funny. Sometimes I have people like, you mean pandemicnews.com? I'm like, nope. Pandemic.news. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, you know how, this is like my conversation with some other people, not with you, but like, you know how when you normally type .com, instead, you type .news. Pandemic.news. They're like, what do you mean? I went to my browser and I typed in pandemic news and I just got CNN. Because, of course, they typed in pandemic space news, space bar. And so they were actually conducting a Google search for pandemic news. And since we are banned on Google, you will not find us if you search pandemic space news. So go to your browser. It's funny. It's funny that, isn't it weird that there are people out there who still don't know how browsers work? But go to your browser, type in pandemic.news. And, some people say, well, I typed in pandemic.news. And I'm like, why isn't it working? Pandemic, DOTNEWS. So they spelled out dot, right? I've seen that before too. People are spelling out dot. Okay. So then you have to explain to them, okay, there's a character, it's called a period, goes at the end of a sentence. It also goes in a domain name. We call it dot for short, doesn't mean DOT. It's actually, kind of to the right of the space bar, kind of the lower right-hand corner of your keyboard. Just press that one. Anyway, it's funny because those people are not going to make it through this pandemic, trust me. So I guess it doesn't matter which website they go to, because if you're too stupid to type a dot, you're too stupid to survive this global pandemic. Trust me on that point. And I'm not talking to you who's listening. You're probably laughing along with me because you know people like this, right? Like, too stupid to type a dot. Well, then the rest of this is kind of pointless for you. Sorry. Wishing you luck. Send you a Hallmark card. Been nice knowing you, because it's going to get tougher from here forward. All right, now on to the news. Sorry, I have to inject a little bit of satire into these from time to time, just to be able to live through this grand tragic comedy. It's gallows humor, basically. But here's the thing. So most people are not prepared for what's coming. I call it the coronavirus countdown, the day of reckoning. There's going to be a day. This day is X number of days away, and X is an integer. So I don't do fractions when it comes to the calendar days. X is an integer. It might be 20 days away. It might be 5 days away. It could be 100. But it is a positive integer, a non-zero numerical value without decimals or fractions. And that number of days away will reveal that there is an outbreak in the United States of America. The CDC will have to admit it. They can no longer cover it up. And on that day, all these Americans, and let's just throw in the Canadians in there too. Let's say North Americans. Come on in, Canadians. Join us in this sheeple exercise. So North Americans on that day will have a group freak out. A group freak out. Because all this time they've been reading on CNN that everything's under control, everything's fine, there's not going to be any outbreaks in America, even though the CDC actually admitted there will be. And all the top health experts are saying, this is not under control at all. This is going to explode into a pandemic. It's probably already there. But a lot of people have decided to deny all this. And so they're not really ready for what's about to come. So on this day of reckoning, let's trace through what thoughts are going through their head. I mean, aside from the thought that you don't have to spell out DOT when you do a .news or a .com web address, other thoughts, such as, if there's a virus outbreak, does that mean I can't go to the movie theater? That might be one of the first thoughts they have. Because they won't immediately jump to the more important points, like, how are fuel supplies going to get delivered to your city when it's under quarantine? Right? That thought is about 10 steps down the road for them. They have to go through a whole journey to get there. And that journey starts, of course, with them and their immediate needs. Like, how am I going to go into Starbucks if other people in Starbucks are infected? Like that, it's all about them, you know? How am I going to go on a date if the person I'm dating, because I swiped to the right on, what is that app? The swiping app, the dating swiping app. You swipe right or swipe left? I don't know, but whatever direction. I swipe to the right and I got a date. How do I know they don't have the coronavirus? And so these people are going to be thinking about only, of course, themselves at first, because they are the center of their universe. So they're going to be not really connecting the dots of what this means on a societal scale, a larger basis. But eventually, may take a few days, but eventually after they think about, well, I'm not going to be able to go to Starbucks and not going to be able to go to the mall, eventually they're going to come to the conclusion, hey, maybe I should have some groceries. Or, hey, maybe the hospital beds are going to be full. Like, maybe I should have a mask, a respirator. Maybe you should buy some personal sanitation liquids that might kill the virus, like bleach, for example. Could be a run on bleach, especially in the cities where the outbreak happens. Going to be a run on food, a run on fuel. Hey, maybe I should have fuel in my gas tank in case I need to leave. Oh, wow, what an amazing thought. How long did it take you to arrive at that? But believe me, this process is very slow. It's very arduous for most individuals who have never thought in these terms before, because they've lived in a society where everything's been predictable and everything's been provided. Like they turn on the faucet in the sink, and what do you know? Water comes out. It's like magic. You flush the toilet, wow, all the waste disappears like magic. You go to the gas station, you squeeze the pump handle, oh, the gasoline comes out like magic. You're waiting at the subway, oh, the subway train shows up like magic. Just everything happens like magic to them. And they've never thought about what's behind all that magic to make these things happen. Like pumps and the power grid and American workers who run the power plants, the maintenance engineers that repair the subway cars. None of these things have ever occurred to the average person, the average sheeple in North America. So there's going to be a slow, surprising, nauseous realization curve that these people encounter, kind of like that first drop off of a big roller coaster where the hill just keeps getting steeper and steeper and steeper. Oh my God! And you're falling and you feel partially weightless. That's what's going to happen in the minds of these people when they slowly come to the realization that they are dropping off a cliff of delusion into the pit of reality. And as they take that plunge, they're going to barf like worse than a roller coaster. They're going to feel their whole world is crumbling around them, especially if, God forbid, the pandemic gets loose in Silicon Valley and no one shows up at Snapchat to keep the Snapchat servers running. You take away Snapchat from the average 19-year-old and their world has been crushed. Imagine a world without social media, where everyone is forced out into the real world to aimlessly wander the sidewalks and try to figure out what to do with their lives. That's going to be a day of reckoning for these people. And when that day comes, wow, it's going to be a sight to behold. And you don't want to be stuck near any herd of these people, because herds move in very irrational directions, sometimes off cliffs, sometimes in mad stampedes that get people crushed, for example. Well, in our society, these herds will head out to Costco and they will panic buy toilet paper. Did you hear in Hong Kong, there was a truck full of toilet paper that was robbed, and a gang stole like 900 pounds of toilet paper? Well, hey, at least they have their priorities straight. The morons are robbing trucks with big screen TVs in them. The smart people are robbing trucks with toilet paper. Because what good is the latest show on TV if you have nothing to wipe with? So you get your priorities straight, gangsters. Rob the right trucks, I say jokingly. Oh my God, what is this world coming to? But wouldn't it be great to not have to rob trucks for toilet paper and instead have toilet paper in your own bathroom? That will be the new definition of luxury as we move ahead with this global pandemic. Yes, life is good. We have rolls of toilet paper. I mean, if you don't believe me, ask people in Venezuela, because they ran out of toilet paper a long time ago when the Venezuelan socialist communist government took over the toilet paper factory and decided that we, the government, can run this better than all these other people here who have been running the factory for 2 decades. We can run it better because we're the government. And besides, we need to skim off the toilet paper factory revenues and hand it out to all our political buddies who are keeping us in power in Caracas. So they took over the toilet paper factory and toilet paper production plunged. Well, now we have a whole new problem. It's not just that it's incompetent government. We now have, outbreaks of a pandemic coming where all the workers stay home. And this is happening in China right now, where you've got American factories in China and they're complaining that they can't get Chinese workers to show up. Because they've been welded locked into their own apartments. Have you seen those videos where the Chinese authorities are running around welding shut the metal doors of entire apartment buildings? Yeah, it's a whole new level of quarantine. It's like, you can't leave. Like, you physically can't leave unless you can climb out of a 3-story window. And if you're some kind of Spider-Man or something, maybe you can pull that off. But nobody else? No, you can't leave. We welded the door shut. You are a prisoner in a quarantine death camp. Welcome to Hebei province, China. And that's coming to America. Or that kind of response is coming to America, I should say. Maybe they won't weld the door shut, but they will have, gunpoint, medical, martial law, National Guard troops arresting people on the street. So maybe it would be awesome to have some extra supplies before that day comes. And when that realization hits the masses, they're going to go out and panic buy Kraft macaroni and cheese, because they think that's food, of course. They're going to panic buy all kinds of insane things. And that's the day that you absolutely do not want to be sharing the store with them, because they're insane. So the best way to not panic is to get prepared in advance. And the best way to get prepared in advance is to take action now before the countdown day of reckoning comes to everybody else. And that's why I share these podcasts, which I hope you find at least mildly entertaining. I do. Yes, I enjoy sharing information. It's part of who I am. But it's with a purpose. I want you to be okay. I want you to survive this. I want to help you survive. I want to give you good information so you can make good decisions. And you better start turning those decisions into action right now. Right now. Stop listening to this. I'm done talking anyway. But get out there and get the stuff you need before the masses need it. Okay, thanks. Thanks for listening. Bye. When it comes to prepping, you not only need good products that can help keep you alive, awake, aware, and nourished during difficult times, you also need products you can trust. At the Health Ranger store, we do extensive laboratory testing using an in-house lab that's ISO accredited. It's inspected, it's audited. It's a 2-year process to even get that accreditation. We use multiple mass spec instruments, state-of-the-art science. I'm a published science author as well and a patent holder on several technologies, some of which we use variations of in our lab. The purpose of this lab is to help you make sure you get clean foods, superfoods, storable foods for emergency preparedness and survival use. we have a certified organic lab-tested, what's called Ranger Bucket collection of storable foods with some survival gear in the buckets to help you even boil water and cook those foods and so on. It's a fantastic product. We can barely keep it in stock even during normal times. In a crisis, we'll be wiped out of this product because it actually takes us a lot of time to make those products. But if they're in stock, you can get them now at healthrangerstore.com/prepwithmike. In fact, go to that URL, healthrangerstore.com/prepwithmike, and you'll see some of our survival and preparedness supplies, including iodine, colloidal silver products and gel first aid products, storable foods, superfoods, medicinal herbs for first aid, and much more. We have a lot of products for you to help you be self-reliant, to be safe, to survive difficult circumstances, natural disasters, and all kinds of things. If you want to get prepared, do it with us at the Health Ranger store so that you know you're getting safe, clean, laboratory-verified preparedness foods, supplements, and other related products. Again, the URL is healthrangerstore.com/prepwithmike. All one word, no spaces. Prep with Mike. I'm Mike Adams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching. If you want to support our mission, visit us at healthrangerstore.com for the world's largest selection of lab-verified superfood and nutritional products for healthy living. It's at healthrangerstore.com.